Welcome back to Everlasting Summer, part 24, I think. I'm still not checking these things, and I have a bit of a I have something new in my recording setup. I'm not going to try and I'm trying not to waste too much time explaining all this, but I have a pop filter, which is basically there to filter out pops, like plosions as they're called. Like if you say Peter picked a pack of pickled peppers, you'll notice now that doesn't sound. You don't hear these weird popping. I can't make the sound because you won't hear it. You won't hear them. They were in the last episode. So if you want to hear the difference, there's a lot in the last one. There won't be any more in this one because. All right. So on to this. I was just excited about that. So yeah. Maybe I was just a spectator from the very beginning. My mystical appearance in this camp, all the local residents, all the events that happened to me. All that is just a weird game and I'm only a pawn. Well, if that is so, I'll still play out my role to my best. I got up and headed to the camp, prepared to take no prisoners. The plan wasn't completely finished in my head, but I have made up my mind already. There was no one at the camp leader's cabin. I rummaged through the cabinets and packed up a sleeping bag, my winter clothes, a flashlight, and some other garments I found. I came out and immediately ran straight into Elisa. Going for a hike? Yeah, for a hike, I reassured her. Well, take care. She gave me a sly smile and went on her way, and I forgot to load the damn... 1 minute. I always forget to load the walkthrough so I know which choices I need to make. I hastened my steps to the infirmary and then rolled my chair over my headphone cable so it pulled on my head, annoyingly. I hastened my steps to the infirmary. The nurse is a human too in the end, so eventually she will go to lunch. Nah, she's a robot. I hid in the bushes, waiting. Time flew by fast. My thoughts were settled, and I had a firm decision. I haven't thought my plan out beyond the first steps. I simply didn't care. The most important thing is that I act the way I think is appropriate, and whatever happens next, let it happen. At last, the nurse came out of the infirmary. She looked around and, noticing no danger, locked the infirmary with a key and quickly went towards the canteen. As she went around the corner, I got to the window in a few bounds and started to hectically knock on it. Slavia showed up soon. Semyon, what are you doing here? You're not allowed to... How are you feeling? I'm fine. But Olga told me to stay here for another day. She told me something completely different. Okay, get out, I said with confidence. What are you talking about? What for? She asked fearfully. Get out now. I'll explain everything later. She looked at me closely for a while, but then opened the window without further argument. I helped her to jump down to the ground. Okay, what next? Let's go. I grabbed her hand and made my way to the forest. Slavia stopped a few minutes later. Semyon, just what are we doing? What's wrong? Do you think that everything was right the way it was? No, I don't. But it will be even worse this way. Why? We have a right to act the way we think is correct. Doesn't mean you won't get in trouble. Okay, but what will happen next? I haven't thought about it yet. Every step in my plan had gone quite well until now, but I wasn't keen on thinking even one step ahead. Take a look. I opened the bag and showed the things I took from the camp leader's cabin. And? Slavia looked at me inquiringly. inquiringly. That's not even wrong on the game's end. I just can't pronounce that word very well because I don't have to on a day-to-day basis. I don't know. We'll stay in the forest for a while. Show them that our opinion matters. But that's stupid and childish. Stupidish. Well, if you don't want to. She gave me a lamentable look. I'll do as you say. These words gave me the creeps. As you say. Nobody ever said anything like that to me. In any case, I think this is the best decision for now. Alright. I like these drawn out pictures, they're kinda cool. I laid the sleeping bag on the ground and we sat on it. So, what are we gonna do? I don't know. Did I only take one sleeping bag? Semyon, you dog. I've never been so close to utter failure. Where did I get a sleeping bag from? No, I wasn't questioning my choice, but indeed, I had no idea what to do next. What would you suggest? It'd be nice to have something to eat. Have you brought anything with you? That was exactly what I'd forgotten. No, I haven't. I replied slowly. That's fine. We kept sitting in silence. I wonder if they will look for us. Though even if they do, they are unlikely to succeed. The forest is big enough. But food. By the evening, I'll get hungry too. Yeah, you did skip lunch. Okay, stay here. I'll be right back. Sorry, I'm hitting the microphone and the pop filter in the stand and all that a lot. It's clumsy today, apparently. Where are you going? To get some food. Maybe we should go together. No, I'll be right back. Yeah, don't go together. That'll make her that won't make her curious at all. I headed back to the camp at a rapid pace, leaving Slavia alone in the glade. I'm absolutely certain that she won't go anywhere, and will wait for me. I wish I was certain that I'll remember the way back as well. Even if they haven't started to look for both of us yet, then surely they'll have found that Slavia is missing, so I have to move carefully and try not to get noticed. Alright there, Solid Snake. I don't care. In general, every single pioneer was a threat now. Not only those who knew me, such an obvious kidnapping will surely be known to everyone in no time. And while getting to the canteen in a few sprints was not hard at all, I had no idea what to do next. I can't just walk in there like nothing happened. Are you hiding there? I almost jumped out of my skin. Liana was standing behind me. Getting hungry? She stared at me. Come on, why so quiet? I was tongue-tied for a moment and couldn't think of an answer. So, why have you come? The answer apparently is I want to get something for Slavia. I was wondering where that would come from. Why? Do I want to get her a gift or not? Oh, really? Yeah, really. Okay, I'll be right back. Much to my surprise, Eliana didn't ask any awkward questions. In the blink of an eye, she zipped out of sight through the doors of the canteen. I was wondering whether I should trust her and wait, or I should flee before she returned with backup. However, Eliana interrupted my doubts quickly, as she reappeared in a couple of minutes with a plastic bag in her hands. Here you go. The bag was full of buns and had a few packs of kefir. Kefir? I think it's kefir. That's how I'm pronouncing it. In it. But why? Well, 'cause it's brave. And cool. She smiled slyly. Best regards to Slavia. Well, she knows I'm not allowed to see Slavia. Liana waved goodbye and ran away. I stood there for some time in confusion, but then went back to the forest. It was completely unlike Eliana, but, frankly speaking, I was thankful to her. In the end, I couldn't get food by myself during the day without getting myself into trouble. Upon getting back to the glade, I found Slavia sitting on the sleeping bag in the exact same pose. Here. I gave the bag to her. You got it so fast. she said excitedly. Well, I found help. Slavia gave me a questioning look, but I didn't go into details. We ate busily without saying a word. I sighed with satisfaction in the end. Good, really good. Yeah, agreed Slavia. What are we gonna do now? Maybe you have any suggestions? About what? No wonder Elisa was so angry when I asked her stupid questions. She hears it all the time from other people. Well, at least about how to deal with the camp eater. I don't know. And are you sure? Yes, I am. I interrupted her. This is an act of protest, after all. She must be aware that she can't order me. I stuttered. Order us around. I feel like I've said something stupid. This isn't the first time, though, so don't worry. Even if I was indeed Olga's errand boy, Slavia was... You're funny. She gave a cute smile. We could just go and talk with her. But if you want to sit here and wait, I'm fine with it. I tried to talk to her. Are you sure you did it the right way? Ah. What is the right way? To be honest, I don't know the answer. Such awkward talks were always something of an insurmountable task for me. But if I knew how to deal with such cases, things would go another way. Of course, since I was afraid and blaming myself, there was no chance to be confident. I don't know. Slavia burst into laughter. What? Nothing. I just feel like a princess who was saved from the evil witch's castle by Prince Charming. Aww. I looked at her carefully. While all this sounded quite romantic, I thought that what Slavia had just said was absolute nonsense. But generally, Olga as an evil witch makes some sense. Yes, the similarity is definitely there. I said it, spelling out every word, completely oblivious that she just called me her prince. This guy. And princesses are given no choice in such cases usually. Her voice is at the end turning into my voice, because my throat is just noping. It's just like, nah, I ain't doing that, brother. Slavia continued in a cryptic tone. Did I skip something by accident? No. Slavia continued in a cryptic tone. Given no choice? That's impossible. It's me who has no choice here. Just sit and wait until I get back to my reality by some miraculous chance. Does Slavia have anything in common with me? She is a role model pioneer, hardworking and beautiful. She has hundreds, if not thousands, of options. Probably, this is the moment I've been dreaming about all my life. Such an unreachable girl as Slavia, not only sitting next to me, speaking and laughing, but completely depending on me. But is it a good or a bad thing? And what should I do next? There were more questions than answers. When it's hard enough to make a decision about my own life and take responsibility for my own actions, how could I do that for both of us? Before now, I'd keep myself distant from such problems in the hope of everything resolving on its own, without my input. But I couldn't act this way now. And not even because of the fact that heaven only knows where and in what time I was. You know, I could be wrong. Slavia looked at me inquiringly. We won't achieve anything, indeed, just by sitting here. And not just that, it's stupid and childish. You were right. And what should we do then? Let's go. We got up, I took the sleeping bag and headed to the camp, holding Slavia by the hand. I did only bring one sleeping bag. Soon we came to the square, where Olga was standing as if she was waiting for us. "Long time no see," she said angrily. "Do you have something to say to excuse yourself?" Cool piano. I have nothing to justify myself for. This is the final decision we have with Slavia. I replied calmly. "Oh, really? Okay then. So you think all of this is normal. Fine." She paused for a few moments and turned to Slavia. "Go to your cabin. I understand that you're not the one to blame." Slavia didn't move an inch. She just lowered her eyes and held my hand even more tightly. "Slavia!" As you can see, she doesn't want to. Bitch. Because it takes one word or one phrase to seduce a girl. If only it were that easy. Hello, take me now. What did you say to seduce her? Oh my god, I said nothing. I started losing my cool. Why do you think we've done something wrong? We haven't done anything at all. As if I haven't seen it. She grinned. So what have you seen? She paused, but continued a second later in the same tone. I've seen enough. You ain't seen shit. Wow, you are so good at drawing conclusions. Getting a job in the secret police? Dude, you calm down, you still got like a day left here. Stop it with your rudeness. I didn't even think of starting it, I said sarcastically, /s. Okay, the time is up, and I'm not willing to continue this pointless argument. You're grounded till the end of the session. Ooh. Oh really? And how are you going to manage that? I'll lock you down in the cabin. And what if I object? Olga gave me a surprised look. It was just now that I realized a crowd was gathering around us. I could spot Lena, Elisa, and Uliana in the crowd. What do you mean by object? Said the camp leader slowly. Oh. Well, that wasn't really slowly, but... okay. I meant exactly what I said. But you can't. A true pioneer. That means I'm a false one. Olga paused as if she was pulling herself together. You think I can't force you? And how would you do that? I laughed emphatically. Ignoring the various mystical forces that I was least concerned about right now, the camp leader indeed had absolutely no idea about enforcing anything. You know what? What? It looked like Olga already understood that she had lost, but still couldn't admit her defeat because of her pride and her possession of eldest and wisest in the whole camp. Etude. Komsomol was a youth division of Communist Party. Young people who failed to join it generally were treated as outcasts in the society. I'll send a report to your school. You won't be accepted to the Komsomol. You won't be able to join the party. I had no way to respond against such serious threats. Accept it. You have no choice anyway. Slavia, who kept silent until now, intervened in the matter. Olga, why do you assume you're right from the start? I can't do her voice when it's short sentences. Oh God. Why is Semyon always to blame for everything? What's so special about what has happened? What is he? What have we done wrong? Are you even sure of what you are blaming us for? If it was anyone other than me standing here, would you act the same way? Yeah, what about Elisa? Oh right, you don't know about that. Slavia, you should know that... That's the point. I know everything. I know you. I know that Semyon hasn't done anything wrong. I know you're prejudiced against him. Without any clear reason, by the way, even though he was trying his best. Yes, it looks awkward at times, but I know he puts all his energy and his heart into it, and you're going to blame him just because he is the way he is? I was charmed by Slavia's monologue, listening to it without really getting whether she was praising me, declaring facts, or stating her opinion, which is probably prejudiced. Probably. Since I seduced her. Ladies. I guess her exact words flew over me. Just the melody of her voice was enough for me. It hypnotized me, and carried me away from this sick woman in stupid pioneer camp, while calming and healing the wounds in my soul. Okay, I don't know what to do with you anymore. Olga calmed down a bit. But don't think that I approve of your behavior. Can someone just explain to her what was going on? Because she didn't see everything that she thinks she saw. She turned away, sliced through the crowd, and headed to her cabin. I don't think I'm sleeping in my cabin tonight. I expected a storm of applause like in American movies, but the crowd started to dissolve quickly as the show came to its end. And Ilyana just winked at me slyly. Well, you know, we kind of overdid it. I looked at Slavia. She was smiling. No, not at all. I'd be arguing with her until late at night, and you nailed it right and clear. I wouldn't get the right words like that even if I had an entire week to think. Oh, come on. What? That's the simple truth, not a trace of lies or flattery. She gazed into my eyes and burst out laughing. I just said the first thing that came to my mind, and this is how it turned out. Your first thought is the right one, and that's how the saying goes. There's a saying that? Your first thought is the right one? Oh, your first thought is the right one. I thought he was just complimenting her. Not all the time. I mean, most of the time, but not all the time. At least in my experience with, like, tests and stuff. I guess it is. I just noticed now that we were still holding each other by the hand. After feeling a bit awkward, I tried to pull my hand free, but Slavia didn't let me. This gave me the chills for a second. Where will we go? I had no desire to go back to my cabin. Strictly speaking, I didn't want to stay in the camp at all. What would you say if I suggested we return to the forest? Slavia looked at me with surprise. Well, you know, it's just sometimes... Okay, let's go. I wasn't expecting such a quick response and had no idea how to finish my sentence. I was just going to tell her about a feeling I get sometimes when you want to go somewhere outside of your comfort zone. At least for a while. At least for a couple of hours. I used to do this before quite often, visiting foreign districts or even neighboring cities. New places and sceneries calm my heart and help to realize that the world is not limited by my apartment walls or the daily routine to university or the workplace. And thus there are people who are people who are doing better or worse than me. And so my typical problems are not as bad as they appear to be. I suddenly smiled. What? Nothing, I just remembered. Never mind, let's go. Now what you say is you say you're just happy to be in the presence of... Never mind. Oh man, I thought I was bad and awkward with girls, but if this was ever a real person, oh, I feel sorry for the ladies who meet him. Or to deal with his awkwardness. Oh man. We headed to the forest, still holding hands. I just realized I might want to be a bit careful what I say, because, well, one, there probably is people out there that are like this, but two, the developer, if it's male, could have been portraying himself as Semyon. So, yeah. Eventually we came to a glade, Probably the one we sat at. Where, probably the one where we sat an hour ago. That was an hour? Holy shit. Or it could be a different one, as I couldn't distinguish one from another. Here? Slavia gave me a questioning look. Nah, let's go further. Okay. Looks the same to me. After another half an hour of wandering through the forest, we came to a small lake. What a nice place. You're right. Slavia smiled enigmatically. Big words today. Then I suggest we stop here. A nice place. I put the sleeping bag on the ground and sat on it. Slavia did the same. And what are we gonna do? I don't know. It was your idea to go in the forest. Yes, mine. I had to make a decision once again. While I had absolutely no idea what we could do, what could we do? We could talk, for example. But about what? Oh, come on. Don't get so anxious. Slavia laughed. I'm not. I can see you are. Well, it's just because it's fine. As you say. I sighed and stared at the ground. Maybe you can tell me about yourself. Well, there's nothing really to talk about. Maybe we could talk. Tell me about yourself. Nah. It's impossible that there could be nothing of interest in a person's life at all. How so? I'm an example of that. You just... She hesitated. Could it be that you're not telling me something? Like what? I don't know. Like you're hiding something from me. But why would I? How would I know? You'd know better. Well, I don't... You said it like... How... Not right. Slavia laughed again. I'm sure that anyone but her would not be so calm here. Okay, so what do you want me to talk about? Well, tell me about yourself. Anything interesting that happened in your life? Right now, I was definitely sure that there was nothing interesting in my life at all. Why don't you tell about that one time that you totally stood up to the camp leader with your hoe and took her down? Oh, man. Okay, let me think. I made a smart face. Is that a thing? Is a smart face a thing? When I was a kid, like 5 or 6 years old, I guess, there's a small hut near my family's country house. A solid one, made from wooden boards, with a tar paper roof, so it could be used as a bomb shelter in case of war. The word paper roof doesn't sound confidence inspiring to me about bombs. But okay. So one day I was sitting on top of it with somebody and suddenly fell off. There were beds of strawberries behind it. And during those split seconds that I was falling, I thought, that's it. The Grim Reaper has come for me. My entire life ran through my head. A life just 6 years long, but still. So I fell onto those beds and obviously didn't feel anything, as there was plenty of soft ground there. So that's the story. Slavia laughed. But that's so silly. I didn't think so at the time. And what about now? I don't know. I guess it is. Fine. Tell me something else. You'll call that silly too. No, I won't. Started thinking again. Also, you fall a lot. Also, I once fell into a pond from a bridge and almost drowned. Who bridges across a pond? Well, maybe it's one of those like park ponds, where they're kind of more of a mini lake with the smaller bridges over them. Your stories are all, Slavia said in an annoyed tone. Told you there isn't much to talk about, so I told you the first story that came to mind. They're all about falling. Ah, speaking of which, the lake. Slavia looked at the water. Let's go swimming. I'm not really fond of that. I don't even have anything to swim in. Oh, come on. She gave me a captivating smile. Well, I don't know really. Of course I was eager to agree, but I still hesitated. Gotta play hard to get. Oh, come on! Slavia laughed and ran off to the lake, unbuttoning her shirt on the way. Well, I stood up from the sleeping bag and slowly headed her way. When I came closer, Slavia was already splashing in the lake, with all her clothes left lying around. Come here. Well, I'm not sure if I want to, I've mumbled slowly. Come on, it's fun in here. She didn't seem to feel awkward about my presence at all. Bra and panties are basically a bikini and bikini bottom. You know, it's kind of the same thing. Well, I wanted to turn away at first. But here's the question. What is more appropriate here? Slavia thinks it's okay and I act awkwardly. Want to defend her? That isn't the most important thing right now. I didn't bring my swimming trunks. I guess that wasn't the most suitable excuse at the moment. So, neither did I. Slavia said with a voice of a level quieter. And we'll have to end it there. We'll see if we go skinny dipping in the next episode. Okay, that was weird. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.